You can start. I think he will be joining, so we can start the proceedings.
Vice Chancellor, sir, do I have the permission to start this validatory session?
Please go ahead. Just start. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. This is Dr. Amit Ahuja, FDP coordinator, and I welcome to all dignitaries, that is Honorable Padma Shri Professor Mahesh Verma, Vice Chancellor of GGSIP University Delhi, Chief Guest Professor Rishikesh Senapati, Director NCERT New Delhi, Chief Guest Professor ML Singla, former Head and Dean FMS and Dean Alumni Delhi University, Guest of Honor Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director CEC Government of India, and another guest of honor Shri Ravi Dadu, Registrar of Harvard University, and Dean University School of Education Professor Dhananjay Joshi, dear participants and team USE. Every journey has a beginning and has an end. This FDP title, Design and Development of MOOCs and E-Learning Technology, is not an exception to this, and we are in its valedictory session. FDP aimed to enrich the knowledge of faculties through interaction with enrichment with eminent personalities from the academics. This knowledge sharing will definitely improve the teaching learning process to the students and benefit the society. In this contemporary global society, there is dire need to enrich the teachers with knowledge and skills so that they may find out today's professional educational gap and try to plug the gap effectively. Teacher education requires professional rigor in its UG, PG, and doctoral courses, which can be met through research and technology. This FDP attempted to gear up the professional growth of teacher educators through MOOCs and associated learning strategies. We hope that our participants will enrich their teaching practices through its incorporation. So after learning, the moment has now come to get set and go in our field and let others learn by technology-supported teaching and learning. With this, I request Bani Preet to play Saraswati Vandana in the honor of Goddess of Wisdom and play our University Kulgit to salute our university. Over to Bani Preet.
या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
लाएंगे हम सच का सवेरा, गुरु कृपा का होगा बसेरा, विद्या की लो और लगन से हट जाएगा यह तम घनेरा। इस धरा से आसमां तक हम बना ले अपनी ज्ञान गरिमा, अपने श्रम से कौशलों से हम बढ़ा ले अपनी मान महिमा। फैल जाए अपनी सुगंध हर दिशा में, प्रगति पथ पर ख्याति अपने हो हवा में। बादलों से
Thank you, Banipreet. After paying our regards, respect to Goddess of Wisdom, that is Saraswati, through Saraswati Vandana, and honor to our university, Indraprasth ki Anjuman, karte isko naman. Now I request our Dean, University School of Education and Director of this FDP, Professor Dhananjay Joshi, to present the report of this FDP. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. Thanks, Amit. It's my honor and privilege to have this valedictory program and welcome to all our dignitaries of this 1 week FDP program on teachers and teacher educators. The very important theme on digital design and development of MOOCs and e-learning technologies from 10th of May. Our inaugural ceremony was held, and now today on 16th May, we are having our valedictory ceremony. We have just finished our last session from 12 to 1:50 by Dr. Nisha Singh of IGNOU. I'll maybe failing in my duty if I'll not welcome all my chief guests and other dignitaries on this valedictory session. First of all, I may be thankful for our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving this opportunity for organizing this FDP. I welcome Professor Rishikesh Senapati ji, who is currently Director of NCERT. He's having some software problems, so he may be joining with us. I also welcome our prominent educationist, Professor Senapati. I'll just give you a little idea about you, who is a man of highly cited researcher in not only in India, but is very on the whole world. He's very able researcher of India, and he's a member of various committees of UGC and various boards of MHRD. He is presently director of NCERT, who is the apex body of school education curriculum, and he is so modest. He's not taken even a single second and the thought when I requested him to be with us. So he said that I'll be with you, and it will be my honor to first of its time that I'll be some of the platform of IPU University. So I feel that an Upanishad also said that Vidya Dadati Vinayam Vinayati Patratam. So the great persons and the great human beings are like down to earth human being. So I welcome him on behalf of IPU University. It is my proud privilege to welcome our chief guest of the day, Professor M.L. Singla ji. He is former dean and head of FMS Delhi University, having 37 years of expertise. When I asked him to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who could be the guest speaker or valedictory speaker of the day, so he just promptly replied that Professor Singla would be the suitable person because he has 37 years of experience of technical area. He is presently looking at various projects of Government of India, and he is very modest. He has accepted our invitation. On behalf of our Vice Chancellor, sir, I welcome you to our Professor Singla, who is also Dean Alumni of Delhi University and is a very prestigious researcher, and he has been awarded various award from Government of India in his work of e-governance. I also take the pride and welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Sunil Kumar Mehru, sir, who is Joint Director CEC UGC, Government of India. He is basically a media professional of ICT policy planner and designer. He is a person who engaged in various MOOCs platform all over the India. Presently, he is coordinating 21 media centers throughout the country, and he is contributing in his wisdom all the work. He has been developed so many platform of Government of India. He has done more than 70 education documentaries as a coordinator. He is instrumental in all the government initiatives like Swayam Prabha, Vyas Higher Education Channel, and other media activities of MHRD, Government of India. We welcome you, Dr. Mehru. I must be thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, in spite of his busy schedule, that he is with us, and he is so kind enough that he is with us in the inaugural ceremony of all the workshop or for student. Now he is always kind enough to bless us in this valedictory ceremony. He is the motivating force behind all the activities. We also welcome to our worthy registrar of GGS IP University, Senior Dynamics Officer, Sri Ravi Dadi ji, who is very helpful in all the activities of our university. We also welcome to our Controller of Examination, Professor Padut Bhattacharya ji, our Controller of Finance, Madam Rinku Gautam ji, our Controller of, our Director Research, Professor Avinash Sharma ji, who is very kind enough in all the activities, all the worthy deans of our university, Shruti Agarwal ji, Dr. Manpreet, Arvinder ji, N.K. Gupta ji, our Professor Agarwal, and all other worthy deans, those are with me. I am failing in my duty if I will not recognize the hard work of all our resource person of these 12 sessions. Briefly, I'll tell you. We have 12 technical sessions of this 1 week FDP, and very renowned technical or senior professors of the whole over India. Professor A.P. Behra, who is Joint Director of CEIT NCERT. He was the first technical session he has taken. Professor Yashpal Sharma, he is also a very senior professor of NCERT. Dr. Indrajit Datta is from Maulana Azad National University, Bhopal. Dr. Madhuri Huda is from MD University. Dr. Gaurav Singh from Indira Gandhi National Open University. Dr. Amit Gautam, who is from Dayalbagh Educational University in Agra. Dr. Nisha Singh, who is from IGNU, and our own MOOC coordinator of IP University, Dr. Durgesh Tripathi ji, are the main resource person. They have taken 4 hours daily, and our participant has been benefited. So it has been felt that the participant, that this is the real need of the hour. So this workshop has been given us very able fruits, that the online mode is now, we have to go a long way, because the feedback which we have got, that the overwhelming response of our more than 250 participants shows that this e-learning tools and the design and development of all these e-learning tools are very important for the teachers, because this offline mode we have not been so much curious to teach by this online mode, but now this COVID and all other things have been given us opportunity that we should learn about this online technology. So I'm not giving so much of detail. All the 3 participants, those are the faculty participants of the different universities, will give us our perception, what they have learned. So it is a very important area. I'm thankful to the coordinators of this workshop, who has done a great job, Dr. Amit and Dr. Anjali, as well as my core team of University School of Education, our senior professors, Professor Sarosh Sharma, who is always very helpful in all each our endeavor, Professor Sangeeta Chauhan, who motivates us and always gives us positive vibes, Dr. Shalini, who is very helpful. Last but not the least, our department scholar of PhD and our emeritus scholars. There is a list is very huge, so I just say thank you to you all, my dear students, for you are the gems and jewels of our university, as you have done a remarkable work in this last 1 week of developing our digital e-magazine, which is an initiative of USC that would be inaugurated towards today with the in presence of Honorable Vice Chancellor sir and in presence of all our guests of honor. So we will see at the end of this e-magazine also. Last but not the least, I will just say one line. चले चलिए कि चलना ही दलीले काम रानी है, जो थक कर बैठ जाते हैं मंजिल पा नहीं सकते, वो मंजिल पा नहीं सकते। तो ये मंजिल जो हम लोगों ने मिलकर अपने संवेद प्रयासों से प्राप्त करी है, ये हम आगे भी ले जाएं और इस कारवां को आगे बढ़ाएं, इस ज्ञान की रोशनी को हम दूसरों तक भी फैलाएं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ जय हिंद, जय भारत। अगेन आप सभी का थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, sir. Respected all, it's a matter of pride for us that today we have the gracious presence of our Vice Chancellor, Sir Padam Shri Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma, Vice Chancellor GGS University. Professor Verma is the president of International Association for Disability Oral and India Chapter and Indian Academy of Restorative Dentistry, IARD. And he in the past has been the Vice President of Dental Council of India, DCI. And in the past, he has been the president of Indian Dental Association, DCI, Indian Prosthodontic Society, Indian Dental Association, International College of Dentists. He is the chairperson of Research Committee for Dental Sciences at ICMR, Technical Committee of NABH, and honorary advisor of Armed Forces Dental Services Ministry of Defense. And he is the eminent research scholar, scientist in Armed Force Medical Research Committee, and American College of Dentists, American Academy of Implant Dentistry, and many other prestigious institutions at international level. And sir is the clinical director of American Academy of Implant Dentistry, and is the executive editor of Journal of International College of Dentists, India and Sri Lanka section. He is the editor of Dentistry India Springer, And he is in the editorial board of Journal of American Dental Association, Journal of British Dental Association, Journal of Indian Dental Association, Journal of Indian Prosthodontic Society, Journal of Oral Biology and Clinical Dentistry. And in the past, sir have been the secretary of Indian Prosthodontic Society, and he has been the part-time faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University. And he is a member of Science Committee of FDI World Dental Federation, Global Child Dental Health Task Force, National Medical and Wellness Tourism Board, governing body of Vallabhbhai Patel Chess Institute. And he was the program coordinator of DCI IGNOU PG certificate. And he has been honored with various awards of prestige. And latest of them have been Arogya Sevavrati Puraskar by Vaidkiya Madat Nidhi on 13 June 18 at Mumbai, and they conferred 28 TP Jhunjhunwala National Excellence Award in 2018 at New Delhi, and conferred Sushruta Award by Indian Dental Association in 2017, and Dentist of the Year 2017 Award by American Academy of Implant Dentistry during 66th annual meeting of American Academy of Implant Dentistry at San Diego in 2017. Sir, you are definitely a source of motivation for all of us, and I request you to deliver welcome address. Over to Honorable VC, sir.
Thank you, Amit. Professor Senapati, Director of NCRT, I know he's delayed. He's likely to join us shortly. Professor M.L. Singla, former Dean of Faculty of Management Studies and Dean Alumni Affairs, Delhi University, chief guest for today's function. Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director CEC, guest of honor. Our own Professor Dhananjay Joshi, Dean, University School of Education. Dear Mr. Ravi Dadich, our Registrar, Controller of Examination, Professor Pradyut Bhattacharya, Controller of Finance, Rinku Gautam. So many deans of our university schools are also logged in here, Professor Avinash Sharma, and many other deans, faculties, resource person, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sheer delight for me joining you this afternoon for the concluding session of online faculty development program on design and development of MOOCs and e-learning technologies. I wish to congratulate Professor Dhananjay Joshi and the entire faculty of University School of Education and the organizing team of students, scholars, and the staff of School of Education for successful organizing as well as culmination of this unique and unconventional FDP meant to train the trainers to design, develop, and deliver such courses in their respective domains. It makes me immensely happy to see this program reaching successful completion. Information is the most empowering of all tools. It fosters independence, confidence, and leadership, and the capability to age-old systems for a better tomorrow. Through these, not only you acquaint yourself with the nitty-gritty, but also it gives you a new perspective. E-learning and MOOCs are the most relevant and the most talked about emerging topics today. For the longest time, e-learning technologies have been in the pipeline, but this pandemic has given the push to distance learning, and it's up to us now to maintain its momentum. The task ahead of us is huge, but faith and motivation can move mountains, and I'm glad to be taking this huge leap into the future with you. So let's go invent tomorrow rather than worrying about what happened yesterday. It's ironic that academicians lag behind on the technology adoption curve, perhaps because we feel that the technology is not only on the list of our biggest priorities as teachers. We do a bit, but educating our students in the best possible way. But I urge you to think of e-learning not as a competition to the traditional instructions, but in fact as an ally, as an adjunct, as a partner. At the heart of e-learning is integration. Technology can never replace great teachers, but technology is a tool in the hands of teachers, these teachers can be truly transformational. The future of our world is in cyberspace. The coronavirus pandemic has proven that we are dependent on the digital world more than ever. We all have our digital identity in the form of Facebook, LinkedIn profile, etc. But to really get at the hub of cyberspace, you need powerful content that can create waves. For academicians, e-content can be the ticket to the cyberspace. Just as the digital integration has transformed industry in the sector of retail, healthcare, manufacturing, you name it, so will it shape the future of education. The design and development of MOOCs will generate the content that will play its part in shaping the educational practices of tomorrow. The future of content is definitely bright. The tide is turning, and we only need to ride the wave as soon as we find our balance. Multimedia education is the next big industry. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Projections indicate that in the next 2 decades, education will be truly democratized and globalized, and that will happen because 90% of our students would be enrolled in online degree programs. When you are only starting to put the pieces of a puzzle together, it doesn't matter which piece you start with. With e-learning technologies, there is a lot to be done. So it doesn't matter where you start, at least for now. The e-learning classroom is an educator's playground. It has so much scope for creativity in instruction to upgrade practices of learning, teaching, and assessments. Like blended learning, there can be blended assessments, online tests, virtual laboratories, etc. It is said, जो तेरे अंदर के साहस को पहचान लेता है, कोई है जो तेरे हौसलों को उड़ान देता है, छुपा नहीं रह सकता किसी फनकार को अंदर, हर फन परिश्रमी को मैदान देता है. So let us explore the limitless possibilities that surround our academic potential. I'm sure after having attended this FDP, you feel inspired and motivated to explore, design, and develop e-learning technologies. As the renewed academic career gears up and moves into the fast lane, I wish you all the very best. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the presence of Professor Senapati, who is likely to join us very soon, Director NCERT, Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director CEC, for their addresses, adding icing to the cake. NCERT and CEC are the pulse beat of education. Professor Singla, I have a special connect. I had done my MBA from FMS way back in 2002-2004, and Professor Singla was my teacher at FMS, and later as Dean Examination, Delhi University, we were involved in a lot of reforms in examination conduct. Thank you all for your valuable time and great insights. Before I conclude, let me appreciate the efforts of entire faculty and the team of School of Education under the leadership of Professor Joshi, Dean, for conduct of this wonderful activity. Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. आपका मनोबल बढ़ाने के लिए I take the opportunity to tell you Professor Senapati has joined. He has some problem in his video, and I also welcome our all other worthy deans, Professor Neena Sinha, Professor A.K. Saini, and others. Those have joined. Welcome you all. Over to Amit.
Thank you so much, VC sir, for your guidance and motivation. You have always inspired us to act, react, act, and explore in a given situation, as said by you. Now I request we are definitely indebted by the gracious presence of our chief guest, Professor Hrishikesh Senapati, Director NCERT in this FDP. Professor Hrishikesh Senapati is the Director of NCERT, and before joining NCERT, he was serving as a principal of RIE Bhopal, a constituent of NCERT. He is an alumnus of BJP College, Bhubaneswar, and Raman Shah College, Cuttack. He later on completed his doctorate from Devi Ahilya University, Indore, and got associated with RIE Bhopal as associate professor in 1997. Then he joined RIE Bhubaneswar as professor. In 2012, he was appointed as principal of RIE Bhopal. His areas of specialization are teacher education and information and communications technology in education, ICTE. He is an UNESCO expert on ICT from India and has more than 25 years of experience in teaching, research, training, and extension activities. In addition to many areas concerning school education, he has also worked on integration of ICT into constructivist theory of learning to bring a paradigm shift in teacher education practices. As an UNESCO expert, he has visited many countries, especially for working on the area of ICT. Sir, definitely it's a matter of pride for us to have you have you with us in this valedictory function session as chief guest, and I request you to deliver keynote address. Over to Professor Senapati.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Padma Shri Mohesh Barmaji, Professor Dhananjay Joshi, dignitaries present here. I'm very happy to be a part of this valedictory function of online faculty development program. This is a great opportunity for all of us that we are trying our best to take advantage of this information and communication technology, particularly during this COVID situation. I would like to highlight more on pedagogy than technology, because we all are experts. We know how to use technology, but technology is a means, technology is a tool in the hand of teacher. So my focus will be more on pedagogy than technology. We all know every time pedagogy dominates technology. Now we are in 21st century and we are using constructivist pedagogy. We expect our teachers should facilitate learning. Our students should be active learners, and there should be a lot of collaboration among the students. And similarly, that we also expect some change in the process of assessment. But before this, we know there is a paradigm shift. And before this paradigm shift, when we are using the behavioristic model, at that time also we are using technology. The context was different. That was product oriented. Now it is more process oriented. And our focus was more on learning from technology. Now it is learning with technology. Why I say so? Because the theory, if you see the learning theory, you all know, because we all are teacher educators, we are familiar with the learning theory. And in behavioristic model, if you see the way technology was used, it was mostly based on program learning. What we are doing, we are dividing the content into small parts and using these program learning techniques and developing computer assisted learning. And our students were learning in a mechanical way. Our focus was more on product, how our children can acquire mastery over the content so that they can secure good mark. But now our focus has been shifted from this content mastery to competency mastery. Since our focus has been shifted, because you I think you all know about the history. Because before 50, learning was defined as response strengthening, because it was based on the findings of the studies conducted on animals. And during 50s, 60s, and 70s, learning was defined as knowledge acquisition. Now in 80s and 90s, and now we the definition of learning has changed. Learning is as knowledge construction. You will find a lot of difference between the two. When we say learning as knowledge acquisition, our impression was that our children do not know anything. Their mind was just like empty vessel, and we have to provide all sort of information. In that, keeping in view that we are also using technology, that so that we can cover syllabus, we can provide more information, and that was why our curriculum was overloaded. That was our approach to learning and also to use of technology. That is why it was defined as learning from technology. But in 80s, 90s, when the definition changed, learning was defined as knowledge construction. That means total teaching learning environment changed. The role changed. We all know, because even 2005 curriculum framework, the curriculum framework is based on this learning theory, and we are preparing our teachers and students, and also conducting this assessment following this approach. That is why now we are using technology as a tool, technology as a means. Technology is not an end. Technology should not dominate, pedagogy should dominate, and students should use technology to construct their knowledge. And in learning theory, it is said if there is more interaction, more social interaction, more collaboration, then there is better learning. How can we use technology for better collaboration, better sharing, better social interaction? That should be our focus. When we are designing any program, any course for our students, and we should try our best to make it more interactive. It should not be one way, because we have already experimented what are the advantage, what are the disadvantage of lecture method. Our students are not passive listeners, they are active learners, and we want they should be very creative, they should be innovative, their problem solving ability should develop, their creativity should develop, and they should contribute something significantly. That is why we have to provide them opportunity to invent something, to create something, to perform something. And if we can do that using technology, then we can take advantage of technology. My concern is that we should not use technology just to transmit what is there or transact what is there. That is a tool. So that is why when we are using technology, we should try to integrate technology with pedagogy and with content. So that is most important in 21st century, because our theory is some that there is a paradigm shift in learning. Keeping in view that paradigm shift, we should try to understand what is the interrelationship between pedagogy and technology. Once we understand the interrelationship between pedagogy and technology, then that will help us to create a better learning environment for our students. It may be the students at school stage, students at in higher education. We have to understand what type of content we are going to transact, and what is the purpose, and what is the process, and how it is being transacted, what is the process. Because we put lot of emphasis on learning process than product. Because if we feel that if process is good, definitely product will be good. Since earlier our focus was more on product, our students were trying to learn by heart. Lot of emphasis was on learning. And in 2005 curriculum framework, it has emphasized that we should discourage rote learning. If really we want to discourage rote learning, then we have to create different environment. We can use technology to create learning situation. Now what is happening? Because now you all know most of the schools are trying to use this technology, this online platform, to transact the content what is there in the textbook. You see what is the condition of the student. They are sitting from 9 to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and all the time just watching the computer screen or television, whatever it may be, and it is affecting their mental health. That is why we should understand our job is not just to cover the syllabus, our job is not just to transact what is there in the text, our job is to develop the skills and competency of our students. If we can develop their skills and competency, they can be good citizen of this country, they can contribute significantly in nation building. That should be our purpose, because we need good human being, good citizen for this country. Keeping in view that, we should bring about change in our mindset. We should bring about change in our entire teaching learning process, in the classroom environment, in the process of assessment. Then will be success. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to bring about change in the entire system of education. We cannot compete with the children, our children cannot compete with the children of other countries if we will not develop their competencies and skills. That is why when we are using technology, we are using MOOCs, we are using different platforms. In NCERT also we are using this Swayam Prabha and Kishore Manch. And here we now you will be happy to know that during this period what we have done, we have come out with an alternative academic calendar, keeping in view the online learning what is going on in different schools. We have come out with an alternative calendar. And here what we have suggested, let our children learn independently. We have identified the competencies, the learning outcome. You might be knowing NCERT has defined learning outcome from class 1 to class 10. And keeping in view the learning outcome, we have identified different resources, including the e-resources. We have e-Pathshala, we have NROER, Diksha, and other e-resources are there. We have given link to our children, and what they can do, they can use this, and they can use different material available with them. So now we have to make it more blended. It is not online. We have to make it more blended. We have to give opportunity to create different situation. So children can use the different materials available at home when they are at home, and they can perform different activities with the help of parents. And we have developed guideline, and the teachers are using those guidelines and guiding the parents. Parents are guiding the students, and they are conducting different activities, and they are learning. But our purpose, that learning should be effective, not that we should use technology just to transact what is there in the curriculum. That is from that point of view, because I know I have limited time, so I don't want to take much time. But our focus should be that we should understand pedagogy. We should understand the interrelationship between technology and pedagogy, and also interrelationship between technology, pedagogy, and content. If we have understanding, then we can identify the right tools, what type of, because so many tools are available nowadays in 21st century. We can identify appropriate tool, and we can design program accordingly, where there will be more collaboration, more sharing, and our students will enjoy learning, and learning will be more meaningful. If they can integrate, they are fully involved, they're engaged, then they can integrate the new information into their cognitive structure, and that learning will be permanent, and that they will never forget. That type of learning environment we should create using technology, and we should try our best to make it more blended, so that we can take advantage of technology, and also we effectively integrate pedagogy with technology and content. That will be more. With this, I think I should stop here. I think I have taken more time. So,
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, dear participants, it's our pleasure, pride, that we have the gracious presence of our another chief guest, Professor M.L. Singla, as chief guest of this FDP. He is a professor of information technology management, and he has been faculty at FMS University of Delhi since 1985. He has also worked with MDI Gurgaon and Tata Consultancy Services New Delhi, and has over 37 years of professional experience both in academics and industry. In the specific areas of information systems, business process, re-engineering, e-governance, SCM, CRM, strategic IT management, and decision support systems. He is actively involved in teaching, training, research, and consultancy in different areas of management, and has been involved in planning of IT usage and process renovation for organizations in the capacity of advisor. He has published 30 research papers, 2 books, and completed 3 research projects. Currently, he has 2 research projects under execution, and he has been awarded IBM Faculty Award for research in BPR, BPM. Internationally, he has attended conferences and workshops in USA, Uganda, Sri Lanka, Japan, Israel, and Hungary. He has been a part of many committees and panels in various ministries of Government of India and UGC. Apart from many committees and panels within and outside University of Delhi, he has been involved in professional assignments for CBI and Honorable Supreme Court of India. Currently, he is the chairman of Task Force on Re-engineering and Task Force on Global Rankings of University of Delhi. He has worked as Dean Alumni of the University of Delhi 2006 to 2008 and Dean Examinations of the University of Delhi 2006 to 9. He has been head and Dean Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi from 2014 to 2017. Currently, he is the Dean Re-engineering of the University of Delhi. Sir, our school is thankful to you for sparing your valuable time, and now I request you to deliver valedictory address. Over to Professor M.L. Singla.
Audible? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are hearing.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, thank you very much, dear Professor Burma, Professor Joshi, Dr. Mehru, Shri Dandekji, FDP coordinators, colleagues from RP University, colleagues from other colleges and other universities, This is a very proud moment for me. Two reasons. This is the first time thanks to Professor Mahesh Verma. Second, for a teacher, it is a very, very matter of pride when I start saying that I'm Professor Verma's teacher. So thank you very much for inviting me for this session of FDP. I feel honored. Friends, first we saw demonetization, and we were told to learn technology so that we can do cashless transactions. So we never wanted to really learn technology. It was forced on us, not the government. It's COVID-19 which is forcing us. From there, the moms and parents are attending to the kids and the online and answering the questions and so on and so forth. Technology actually is being pushed down the throat of academicians today, but we have no choice. We have no choice. MHRD has been investing plane loads of funds for the last 1 decade or so for development of MOOCs and e-learning, sometime through NPTEL, sometime through AICT, sometime through UGC, but it never happened. This COVID-19 has done what all of us put together could not do it. There's a small personal experience. My daughter has been offered admission in Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government, very prestigious program, MP. But I want to tell you something else. So what information that we receive is that the minimum first 1 semester, the classes will be held online from the place where you are staying. It's not that Harvard is doing for the first time. Besides all the prestigious programs that Harvard runs, it always had online programs, but online programs were always considered to be second rank. But today, even the most prestigious program like MBA, MPA, ID, students are being forced to attend classes online for minimum 1 semester. Another thing which came to light, Harvard has a deferral policy that if you don't want to join the program, you can defer it by 1. This year, they have received many programs by 1 year that they had to revise the policy and say that deferrals are not easily available. It has to be a medical emergency if you want to defer the program. This is the way the things are happening. Friends, from Gurukul to madrasas, gurudwaras, mandirs, then to classrooms, to blackboards, to tech-enabled classrooms, and now online classes. I wonder what next. Only time will tell. MOOCs, as you must have learned over a period of last 6 days, is an e-learning platform, which means free of charge delivery of knowledge. MHRD initiated SWAYAM, which has been a moderate success with heavy resource investments. But the question is, are we ready? Are we going to enjoy it? Is it going to deliver the results? How is it going to affect our teaching effectiveness? There are many questions which will get answered over a period of time. Today is not the right time to answer those questions because we need to live through all those experiences. Only then we can answer all these questions. I'm glad that Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University has to get the faculty members on board, ready for the next phase of technology onslaught. It's the first mover advantage that is going to matter in times to come. While we are here, I would like to mention a few challenges that educational institutions may witness, are likely to witness. COVID-19 has forced some 72% of world's student population to stay home as institutions are more or less closed. There's no instruction which is taking place at the educational institutions, be it primary schools, be it middle schools, secondary schools, undergrad colleges, postgrad departments, or specialized institutions. This has led to interrupted learning, missing on free midday meals, which is a big temptation for many students in rural India, confusion among students, teachers, and parents, high economic costs, rise in the dropout rates, and mostly social isolation, which leads to basically a different kind of personalities of the students which will emerge. There are emergence of newer opportunities, newer aspirations, and newer challenges for education institutions, for stakeholders, for governments. Some of the issues that we will be encountering. There will be very few students who will like to go back to school or college as compared to what we had. People will get used to not needing to put on shoes, not needing to put on proper clothing, not needing to really get ready for going to the school or college or UNIF. Few students may go outstation to study with the kind of problems that we have experienced in last 2 months' time. The parents as well as students will be thinking twice before they actually decide to go to an outstation program, which may be superior to the program which is available at local level. Even fewer students will go to overseas to at personal level, though my daughter got the admission in one of the best programs in the world in public administration, but be a double-minded. Should she go? Should she defer? Should she not? Cost is not the only factor. Safety is another factor which is going to be very, very seriously considered by parents. There will be absolutely nothing like co-curricular activities wherever the group is required. No sports, social distancing will rule the rules. Multi-shift teaching will be possible by institutions because infrastructure, physical infrastructure will not be required. Only tech resources will be required, and from the comfort of teachers' places, it will be possible to conduct multi-shift teaching. There will be a debate between teaching and learning. Teaching, yes, I have taught a course. Whether my students have learned or not will be a debatable question. I still recall the old saying, when I hear, I forget. When I see, I remember. When I do understand, I do learn. Whether this will really happen in case of online teaching is not, will depend over a period of time, will depend upon the dexterity all my colleagues will achieve, how to tell the stories, how to ensure that they also do while they are not in the classroom. Teaching definitely will go high-tech. Technology will help the content, but not the container. Distance learning courses will grow in stature. All along, we have always believed that distance learning courses were the second cousin of the regular classes, but all of a sudden, everything going online and becoming literally distance learning programs will also rise in stature. There will be emergence of blended learning model. Artificial intelligence can't be written off right away. Artificial intelligence will have a much bigger role to play in times to come. Most will go in artificial intelligence-based solutions. Examinations, evaluation, assessment will become different altogether. It will have to be redefined. Cost of delivery might go down. Institutions and governments will invest in the technology infrastructure rather than the physical infrastructure alone. Depth of knowledge will be questionable. And over a period of time, the mixed mode of teaching models are likely to evolve. Friends, and then one day, someone will start only classroom personal interaction. I'm sure sometime in future, that will be news for the world. These are the things I believe we are likely to experience when we talk in terms of MOOCs, when we talk about e-learning, when we talk about online classroom interaction. And over a period of time, all of us will have to learn how to conduct, how to receive, how to evaluate, how to assess. Thank you very much with these few words, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. And dear participants, now it's a matter of pride for us that we have our guest of honor, Dr. Sunil Mehru, with us, and he is Joint Director, CEC, Government of India. Dr. Sunil Mehru, media professional, ICT policy planner and designer, has done his honors, MPhil and doctorate. He has experience of more than 20 years in crafting professional communication by experimenting and implementing innovative learning pedagogies to ensure optimum use of ICT in dissemination of education. Dr. Mehru is presently the Joint Director, Software and Consortium for Education Communication as Inter-University Center of University Grants Commission, New Delhi. Dr. Mehru, as a member, was instrumental enough in finalization of proposal for Arunodaya channel to be launched for Northeast region. He has also served Education Multimedia Research Center, EMRC, IIT Roorkee as an honorary director for 4 years. Dr. Mehru was honored by the National Award for his documentary based on Folk Festival of Rajasthan. And he has worked in 70 education documentaries as a media researcher, script writer, as well as producer for national telecast. He has been nominated as a jury member for various film festivals, including CEC, UGC video festivals, Prakriti film festivals, Doordarshan annual awards, and national science film festivals. He is festival coordinator for Prakriti International Film Festival and CEC UGC video competition. He organized several workshops, trainings in mass communication, including Filmi Chashma, sponsored by Children Film Society of India, CFSI. He chaired many sessions, presented research papers, and attended international national conferences, seminars in India and abroad. And he has written a book on secularism. He conducted various online worldwide e-courses, especially on mass communication subjects like script writing, editing, marketing, communication, and salesmanship as e-course coordinator. Dr. Mehru has been nominated as chairman, expert, and member in number of selection committees, review committees, standing committees, etc. And he has been nominated as a member for project review and supervisory group by MHRD. His major areas of interest are higher education policies, especially using ICT tools, e-governance, and web-based learning, documentary filmmaking, art direction, and screenplay writing. Sir, we are indebted to you for your gracious presence in this FDP. And now I request you to enrich us with your words of wisdom. Dr.
Thank you so much, Professor Joshi. I would like to submit my sincere gratitude to IP University for giving me this honor, and would like to congratulate Honorable Vice Chancellor to create virtual environment in the university. IP University is one of the 50 universities who have got selected for launching of MOOCs as open online courses. The MOOCs on society and media developed by Dr. Dargesh Tripathi of School of Mass Communication, IP University, is rated as top of the 5 courses in the country with the enrollment of more than 1,000. Friends, in this webinar, you have learned about the online environment, MOOCs. So there is no need to repeat. I would like to state that the Consortium for Educational Communication under the dynamic leadership of Professor J.B. Nadda is contributing to create true virtual environment into the nation. CEC being active partner under started developing MOOCs based on CBCS structure and on UGC model curriculum. Till date, CEC offered 397 UG and 86 PG courses on SWAYAM platform. In Jan, CEC offered 61 UG MOOCs and 43 PG MOOCs. Through the Honorable Vice Chancellor, I would like to request participants, please log on to CEC website, that is cec.nic.in. To log on to submit your MOOCs proposal. We are also offering MOOCs, and proposals, forms, PDFs are available on our website. Or you can also submit your proposals through IP University under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Vice Chancellor of IP University. See, we are in the lockdown period, and what lockdown provides us the lockdown provides us ease to familiar with the video conferencing softwares. Lockdown forced us to use online tools for education. Lockdown provides opportunity to read online newspapers. Lockdown forced us to hold webinars, online conferences. Even world is hosting the film festivals online throughout the world. Schools and colleges started online classes for the students. That means lockdown created the true environment of online learning in the country. And now we should keep pace with the environment, become the global leader in e-education. Medium has been explored to create civilized society by way of educating the masses through World Wide Web. World is coming up with new innovations, methods, and new ways of learning and packaging the knowledge. The need is that a synchronous learning process has to be designed in a manner that taxonomy of learning outcome and principles of instructions can be assured. Experiments are going on in making e-learning more effective, more efficient, and user-friendly. Taxonomy has to be embedded with technology. World is coming up with innovations, and teaching is now become more systematic and meaningful. The platform MOOCs have given ample opportunities. So, addressing to the participants, while preparing your lecture, you should always keep in mind, or you should always ensure that the quality and authenticity of the content is very important. Then the systematic adaptation of information is also required. Effective delivery of the content is very essential. Acquisition of skills of knowledge is also required. Adherence to the taxonomies or instructional design theories that give boost to your lecture. And kindly ensure IPR and copyright issues also. Ensuring mastering learning stage or level learning and a meaningful learning. Give little focus on the mastery of staged or level learning. What is staged and level learning? Plan your lecture in stages that will help students in grasping the depth of the subject. Mobile and video games you often see available nowadays are based on the theory itself. That first you attain the mastery at level 1 or stage 1, and then only you can enter into level 2. So the mastery learning concept is also required to embed. And these new ways of learning and teaching, such as LMS learning management systems, having all such kind of facilities which we can create, which we participate also, and we can do such kind of innovative learning. Second is the meaningful learning. What is meaningful learning? Please relate to your talk with the surroundings, relate with the life and the use examples. Simulations. Use the medium at its optimum level and incorporate graphic animations where required. Architect your visuals and make it more interesting and appealing. And now, what are the tools to be explored? See, I was sitting ideally at home in the lockdown period, and we should also explore such kind of tools, online tools available nowadays that will really indulge us in creating true virtual environment. And these are the openware softwares. No money is required for this kind of software. First is Learning Management System, LMS. Moodle is a freeware, openware, which you can use to create your own courses for your students studying in IP university or college. Then I would like to request you, or would like to suggest, try to create blended learning environment in your teaching. How it is possible? See, Consortium for Educational Communication, CEC, launched Enemy ICT project, under which they have created e-content courseware. This content courseware is bundled into flash file which contains audio video files, text files, assignments, quiz, and it is an environment. We created an environment of blended education where you find audio video, where you find assessment, quiz, FAQs, downloadable text, and everything. Then we talk about flipped learning environment. What is flipped learning environment? See, online teaching is interesting, I can understand, but sometimes you feel very bored. Even though in class the only teaching is there, face-to-face teaching is there, to give more creative thing to the learning and effective learning, what we can use is flipped learning. What is flipped now? If you are reading some book and immediately you flipped after getting bored, you flip to some video of the related text. Then after watching a video, you can go for short learning objects, small videos which provides you the concepts or concept clarity on the same subject. Again, you can flip to the text and you can again read the text. Again, you can flip and again you can see the video. So this is very interactive learning environment which we can create in our university also. We can also create online, and such kind of platforms are available for flipped learning environment. I would like to suggest here, I would like to inform you that Consortium for Educational Communication, CEC, is also in process of creating flipped learning environment where we are integrating audio video content of half an hour lectures plus LOR's learning object repositories that we can say concept classes of 1 to 2 minutes on the same lecture. Then again, in this environment of flipped of CEC, you can also flip from LOR, the concept classes, to the documentaries, where you can see the relevant documentaries on the same subject. The next, again, I would like to say that kindly explore. I'll tell you, a California site is there. California government has prepared a site which is National Knowledge Portal. Knowledge Portal, they are providing you so many openware softwares that you can use easily, you can embed in your day-to-day life, you can embed in your teaching, and these softwares are open conference software through which you can hold the conferences, open journal software where you can publish the e-journals, open monogram software. Such kind of softwares are available, and we should also try to get such kind of softwares and technologies that will boost you, and it will contribute to the true learning environment, a virtual learning environment. While creating MOOCs, teachers, participants, or academicians, please keep in mind that 3 classroom teachings is equivalent to 20 to 30 minutes of video. If you are creating video for MOOCs, always keep in mind. And as per the calculation stated, you can design the MOOCs being developed by your university, colleges, or by individual participants or academicians. What is the calculation now? 1 credit of MOOCs should contain 5 hours of audio video content plus 5 hours of text content. Then the 2 credit is 10 hours of video content plus 10 hours of textual content. 3 credit courses should contain 15 hours of audio video content and 15 hours of textual content, and 4 credit means 20 hours of AV content and 20 hours of text content. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I would again like to thank Professor Joshi and Honorable Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words. Now I request our few participants to give their feedback of this 7-day FDP. First of all, I request Dr. Diksha Katyal, faculty from University School of Environment Management, GGSI University, Delhi. Over to Dr. Diksha Katyal.
Thank you, Amit, sir. I would like to congratulate the team of Dr. Dhananjay Joshi, Dr. Anjali, and Dr. Amit for this particular program. Was so diligently designed. It was very well drafted and very well crafted. The chronology of events was very well thought out. One followed the other. I never for 1 minute felt that one program was not designed in such a way that it shouldn't have followed the other program. Besides that, it came at a time when the stats that was being generated for the pandemic was so depressing. Fortunately, this FDP came up, and I could divert my attention from depressing statistics to something so wonderful that I have learned. And today I feel like a young girl in a candy store who has so many options to explore. Probably it will take me a month or so before I really get to understand all these e-learning opportunities that have been taught of and have been provided details of. By far the best FDP that I've attended in years. And on behalf of all the participants, I would like to thank you, Dr. Dhananjay Joshi, Dr. Amit, and Dr. Anjali, and your whole team for giving us all this opportunity to be a part of this program. Thank you once again.
Now, Institute of Technology, Delhi. Dr. Suman. Yes, sir. In a nutshell. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all of you. सबसे पहले मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी अपने वाइस चांसलर सर का, रजिस्ट्रार सर का, डीन स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड डायरेक्टर ऑफ दिस एफडीपी प्रोफेसर धनंजय जोशी सर का, प्रोफेसर सरोज शर्मा मैडम का, एंड ऑर्गेनाइजर्स डॉक्टर अमित का एंड डॉक्टर अंजलि का, कि आपने ऐसे समय पे हम लोगों के लिए ऐसी एनरिचिंग एफडीपी ऑर्गेनाइज की जिसको हम बयान नहीं कर सकते शब्दों में। मैं टॉपिक से लेके एंड तक बोलना चाहूँ कि टॉपिक भी स्टार्टिंग में इतना इंटरेस्टिंग था कि हमें सोचने में 1 मिनट नहीं लगा कि हमें ये अटेंड करनी चाहिए या नहीं। और ऐसे समय पे जब हम क्लासेस ले रहे हैं ऑनलाइन और हम प्रॉब्लम्स फेस कर रहे थे, उन्हीं प्रॉब्लम्स का एकदम से हमें सॉल्यूशन मिला। और सभी जो सेशंस थे वो बहुत वैल्यूएबल रहे, प्रैक्टिकल थे, फ्रूटफुल थे, इंटरैक्टिव थे। और इसके बाद मैं कहना चाहूँगी जो सभी रिसोर्स पर्सन थे उन्होंने भी अपना 100% दिया, सभी एक्सपर्ट थे, एफिशिएंट थे। और जो सेशंस आप लोगों ने लगाए थे, जो अरेंज किए थे, उसको एग्जीक्यूट भी उतने अच्छे से जो आपकी पूरी टीम ने बहुत अच्छे से अरेंज किया। और थैंक यू वेरी मच। और मैं कहना चाहूँगी मिलते जुलते रहेंगे इस ज्ञान के साथ जो हमें नया मिला है इस दौरान। आज से शुरुआत होगी हमारे जीवन की एक नई शुभ शुरुआत इस टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ। धन्यवाद। मैं अगेन कोशिश करूंगी, उम्मीद करती हूँ सर, धनंजय सर एंड होल टीम से कि आगे भी ये ऐसे प्रोग्राम होते रहेंगे। Very much. Thank you very much, School of Education, whole team.
Thank you, Dr. Nehra. Now, dear participants and worthy dignitaries, the moment has come to launch of digital e-magazine, that is Edu Sparks, that traces a total journey of USC in digital form. This Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma ji to launch our digital e-magazine. Over to you, sister.
Yeah, Bani, please start the sir, please start.
Thank you, Professor Joshi and the entire team. And we are really proud that we have gone a little ahead now. In addition to, in continuation to many programs we have had these days electronically through digital mode, we have gone ahead and we are coming out with the e-magazine. And congratulations. I'd like to congratulate your school for this novel initiative. As one of our keynote speakers said, that of course this has brought a pace in us, but we have to maintain the pace and keep utilizing this medium to strengthen not only teaching learning but also in all our endeavors. We have to percolate in all our endeavors, and we have to move forward in a high tech and a more effective. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir, for your blessings. आपके आशीर्वाद के लिए धन्यवाद. My technical team, scholars, please continue with this digital magazine launch. Please play the sound. Vani, please play the sound.
Strong dedication. Dear friends, this lockdown has been a misfortune, difficult time, but can we have it as a blessing in disguise? We have used this time to value the good time we've had. We have also used this time to refresh our relationships. We have rested well. We have done some hard chores, cleaned our houses to the nook, and we have also had strong dedication to numerous webinars and continuing education these days. And now we are all ready to go with our newly acquired knowledge and ready to hit the clinics. I can understand your predicament, but wait a minute. मैं जानता हूं कि आप सब उतावले हैं, नई ऊर्जा और नए विश्वास से भरे हैं। कहते हैं निराशा से भरे, विश्वास से भरे, हौसलों का उड़ान ऊर्जा भरे। लेकिन जिंदगी मंजिल नहीं, सफर है, बढ़ते रहें, फैसले हमारे नहीं, कुछ वक्त के भी होते हैं। Whenever you are stepping into your clinics from homes, you are moving out of safe zone of the homes to fun zone of your clinics. Remember 4 mantras: safe, space, place, and pace. From safe, pace, and pace is very important. It has to be a stepped approach, and जब हम पेस की बात करते हैं तो मुझे रहीम का वो दोहा याद आ रहा है, धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे सब कुछ हुए, आली सींचे 100 घड़ा, ऋतु आए फल हुए। संभावनाओं के दरवाजे खुले, मन में कोई निराशा नहीं, कोई अंधेरा नहीं। मैं जानता हूं कि हम सब लोग इस वक्त पीपीई को ढूंढ रहे हैं, पर्सनल प्रोटेक्टिव इक्विपमेंट। शायद उससे ज्यादा हमें पीपीई की जरूरत है, इमोशनल प्रोटेक्टिव इक्विपमेंट। साहस, ऊर्जा और धैर्य से we shall emerge stronger, wiser, and better. Happy days shall begin again. It gives me immense pleasure to share the unique initiative of the University School of Education digital magazine. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Manish Verma, and the executive leadership of the University School of Education, Professor Digital magazine is current situation and is an excellent platform which sees ideas and showcase various talents and creative concepts of all members of University School of Education and academic colleges as well as for the students to share their creative in the form of poetry, music, collage making, and entertainment sector. I extend my best wishes to all the faculty members.
हेलो साथियों, नमस्कार। जैसा कि आजकल हम इस लॉकडाउन के पीरियड में जी रहे हैं और यूनिवर्सिटी स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन के स्टूडेंट बहुत अच्छी प्रयास कर रहे हैं एक डिजिटल मैगज़ीन के लिए। एक छोटा सा अभियान है आप सभी के जुड़ने का, आप कृपया इससे जुड़ें। मैं अपनी बात को संक्षेप में एक छोटी सी अपनी स्वरचित कविता के माध्यम से कहना चाहूँगा कि जब जब हम पर संकट आया हमने उसका साथ निभाया, जब जब हम पर संकट आया हमने उसका साथ निभाया, जब जब हम पर विपदा आई हमने उसको मिलकर मार भगाया। जब छाए थे युद्ध के बादल, जब छाए थे युद्ध के बादल, हमने भी दुश्मन को खूब छकाया। 62, 65 या 71 के रण में शत्रु को हमने बहुत रुलाया। जान लगा थी करगिल में, जान लगा दी थी करगिल में, शहीद होकर मातृभूमि का वीरों ने कर चुकाया। ये संकट भी जाएगा जो कोरोना ने है फैलाया, निश्चित रूप से यह संकट भी जाएगा जो कोरोना ने फैलाया। मिलकर करनी होगी हमको तैयारी, आई है ये विपदा भारी, लाखों लोगों ने है प्राण गंवाए, विश्व का हर कोना है थर्राया। विकसित राष्ट्रों ने भी माना कि नहीं है इसको आसान है हराना, लेकिन हम इसको हराएंगे क्योंकि जब जब हम पर संकट आया हमने उसका साथ निभाया। जय हिंद, जय भारत। आप सभी का धन्यवाद। आप कृपया अपने घरों में सुरक्षित रहें, सेफ रहें। थैंक यू वेरी मच। Dr. Ahuja, please continue.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shakmita, for this display. Now I request Dr. Anjali Shokin, FDP coordinator, for vote of thanks. Dr. Anjali, please.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Dr. Anjali Shokin, on the behalf of University School of Education, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, first of all extend my sincere thanks to Almighty God for showering blessings on all of us. I thank you, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Padma Shri Professor Dr. Mahesh Verma Sir, for awakening the passion and desire to support us as a ladder to reach the pole of success. Sir, your constant encouragement has always helped us in doing the things in best way. Thank you, sir. My gratitude to our chief guest, Professor Rishikesh Senapati, Director NCERT, for spare his valuable time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, sir, and this will surely encourage us in our future endeavors. Thank you, sir. I thank our chief guest, Professor M.L. Singla, former head and dean, Faculty of Management Studies. Sir, your thoughts have really enlightened our minds and have shown a new path. We are highly inspired by your great words, sir. Thank you. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our guest of honors, Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director CEC, Government of India, for your very thought-provoking and interesting address, sir. Thank you. I thank our Registrar, Shri Ravi Dajit, sir, for always motivating us to do various programs. I also thank our Controller of Finance, Ms. Rinku Gautam, for providing all her support in all the events. A special thanks to Professor Dhananjay Joshi, Dean, University School of Education and Director of this Faculty Development Program, whose constant guidance has made this program possible. His continuous support and motivation encourage us to do our level best. Thank you, sir. I also extend my sincere thanks to our senior colleagues, Professor Sarosh Sharma and Professor Sangeeta Chauhan, and all other colleagues of my department for their kind cooperation. My gratitude to all the resource persons of this faculty development program for sharing their valuable knowledge with us and making this faculty development program very meaningful and fruitful. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all the participants who have shown their interest and attended this online faculty development program. We are highly thankful to you all. I also thank the media team for covering all the events in the public domain. I heartily thank all my MH scholars and research scholars who worked beyond their comfort zones and helped us in organizing this faculty development program. Special thanks to our technical team for making all the things possible. Once again, thanks to all. Jai Hind.
Thanks, Dr. Now I
Dr. So, sir, to kindly call to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to have some concluding remarks. I request, sir, to have some concluding remarks.
Yes, sir. Over to VC, sir.
Yeah, okay, VC, sir, please.
Please, sir.
I think we have taken a long time, but actually, I was thinking that we had three very illustrious speakers today, and they gave us some, pearl of wisdom. I would like to share what they said as a carry-home message. We had Professor Senapati talking about ICT during these times and how this has come as a tool in the hands of teachers. And he said one thing, that pedagogy always dominates technology. And I think it was a very well said thing, that let us not play in the hand of technology. Technology is only a means, it is not the end. And teachers should facilitate learning and students be active learning and collaborative learning. I think it was a very well insight that whenever we planning a MOOC program or we plan any content for any course, we must ensure that it has to be collaborative. He said there is a paradigm shift today. From earlier, it was learning for technology, and today it is learning with technology. So that's a very profound statement. Earlier, driving the content into small parts, that's how we were doing. And it was a mechanical way of teaching and learning. And today our focus has shifted from content to process. Earlier, it was more of a rote learning. And today, learning has to come through a process. And from 50s and 60s, when learning was knowledge acquisition, today it is knowledge construction. So there is a big paradigm shift in terms of creation of knowledge. It changed total teaching learning environment. When we are saying knowledge construction, then it has changed it has made environment very totally different. Technology is only a means and not the end. I use technology to construct knowledge and apply collaboration. He said courses to be made more interactive than being planned, integrate technology with content pedagogy, and understand the relationship between technology and pedagogy. Today I think most of our focus is on a technology, but that is also there. But I think pedagogy is always more important. Today we give more emphasis on process. Earlier we were giving more emphasis on product. That's why we were doing rote learning. And he said our objective is to nurture the skills and competencies in students, because unless we do that, they will not be able to compete globally, because you want your students to be as good as any rest of the world. And he said that we have to enhance their skills, mindset, and competencies. We need to make it more blended by creating a differential situation, creating learning environment with technology, and integrate pedagogy. So pedagogy and technology has to go hand in hand, but pedagogy will always be supreme, always override the technology. Professor M.L. Singh had a altogether different aspect. He said technology is being pushed in the throats of academicians or teachers. Suddenly, there's a bombardment of e-technology, even for those who were not very ready for it or well acquainted with it. Online programs were always considered second rung. There was an inequality between online learning and classroom learning, and this is gone now, and it has become a very integral part of learning. He has quoted his personal example of Harvard School, that it is mandatory that the first semester would become online. He said we have moved forward, we have moved ahead from Gurukul to tech-enabled class, Gurukul to Madrasa, to Gurudwara, to Mandir, to classroom, to Blackboard, and then finally to tech-enabled class. But how is it going to impact? What will be the final experience? We still have to, we just cannot say then how will be the outcome? He said MHRD has a lot of funds and lot of facilities earmarked for it, but he says 72% are disrupted. In India, there is a interrupted learning, midday meals, high economic costs, high dropout rate, and there is a social isolation. So, overall, this 2-3 months period has a lot of opportunities and also a lot of challenges. He said now the biggest challenge for us is that even though the universities and schools open, very few students who would go back to the schools and universities, because the teachers, their parents are not very comfortable sending them, and only few would go abroad to study. That's another challenge. Large Indian students used to go abroad. So I think it may be a good for our Indian institution, because many of them will study here locally, and there'll be no extracurricular activity, there'll be no sports, there'll be multi-shift teaching, and whether students learn, all the teachers taught, but you don't know whether the students learn. So he said teachers would be high-tech, but they will not be not the trainer. They will be distance learning programs will go up. Artificial intelligence will have a big role now. It's very difficult. So we need to redraw how we do assessments. Cost of delivery will go up. Infrastructure will go up. Depth of knowledge, nobody knows. Nobody knows whether it will really, this new environment, new way of a teaching learning process will bring a depth of knowledge. Someday, then he says, someday after all this happens, one person will start classroom teaching, and this will be a news, and then we can say back to basics. So we go back. So it will be like a vicious cycle that we go back to where we started. Then we had Dr. Sunil Mehru, Joint Director, CEC Consortium. He said we need not reinvent the wheel. He said there's so much of e-content already available, and let's utilize that. And he said CEC has a lot of UG and PG courses already available. And then he has also re-emphasized this lockdown period has given us a lot of opportunity, eased us. In fact, many of us who were very hesitant e-technology in teaching, I think we are much comfortable now. It has created a true environment for online learning. He said taxonomy of learning, outcome to be ensured with technology and ensured effective learning. So technology is only being utilized for taxonomy of learning, it is not replacing learning. And he said while preparing the lecture, I think it's very important that we understand the quality and authentication of content. He said, please see that IPR is not hampered. It has to bring a meaningful learning and a staged learning from stage 1 to stage 2. Please take your time. There has to be innovation, meaningfulness in learning. He said, create your own courses. He said already there are so many open software, monograph software is available, like on a California side, he gave example, which can be used for our teaching learning processes. He said blended learning, when you are getting a blended learning, video, audio, text, frequently asked questions, all those things, flipped learning, all that had to be incorporated. While creating MOOC, each classroom teaching is almost equivalent to about 30 minutes of e-content, and 1 credit of course of 5 hours is equivalent to 5 hours of audio video content. So I think it was a lot of re-emphasis, a lot of new points, a lot of exposure to a lot of opportunity and challenges for us. We only hope that let's keep walking ahead with our hearts, hearts in teaching learning, but of course soaked with technology. Thank you, Professor Dhananjay Joshi and Dr. Amit Ahuja. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Before the formal ending, may I say take 2 minutes only. Sir, thank you very much for that you have summarized so well. You are really a great learner as well as a great, patient scholar, that you've summed up the things is so beautifully and summarized everything as a crystal clear. So it is a great honor for all your esteemed panelists also and all our chief guests also, that you have taken everyone together and the beautiful summarization. Sir, it is just a matter of pride for us that every time, whenever I have seen that you have very keenly written everything in our meetings also. In your USMS program also, you have given a beautiful summarization. So it is a beauty of your technical qualities. May I only say that, sir, keep blessing us. Yesterday, we all have seen that your program, you have been felicitated by Bombay Dental Academy, and 6 decades of your learning and teaching, success, your friendship, your leadership, professional affiliation, and award. You are really an icon for us, sir. And this program was live yesterday, and today also you have to join some more such kind of program at 4 o'clock. In spite of this busy schedule, you are with us. I just say thank you again. I just say thanks to Professor Rishikesh Ganapati. In spite of all technical glitches, he has throughout with us. Professor ML Singla Saab, you are a guru of our guru, so most reverend for us. So aapko pranam, and Mehru Saab, aapka bahut bahut dhanyawad. All our worthy deans, all our worthy senior colleagues, my departmental friends, thank you for making this FDP a great learning experience, and will come true on your expectation in future too. With these words, thank you very much for with us and sparing your valuable time. Over to Dr. Amit.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Banipreet to play Gayatri Mantra.
We will end this ceremony with the noble Gayatri Mantra for the world peace. Thank you very much. Bani, please play.
Banipreet, please.
Once again, sabhi ka dhanyawad. We are getting serious chats. We are getting so many feedback from our participants. We request you to please give us your all feedback in our Excel form. We would be certainly forward to all our dignitaries about this session, and we request you to please join our next activity. With these words, I again request our Honorable Vice Chancellors and all dignitaries for thanking for your special time, for sparing with us, and I also thanks to my all team members for giving this opportunity to all of us to be live with you. Over to Amit.
Thank you so much, sir. So a word of thanks to all dignitaries and worthy participants for making this valedictory session of this FDP so resourceful. I wish all the participants very best for all their future endeavors. Jai Hind.
Dhanyawad, sir. Namaskar. Thanks, Dr. Gupta ji. Thank you, Avinash Sharma ji. Thank Neena ji. Thanks all our university worthy colleagues. Thank you again, sir. Thank you. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का. Thanks to my team members, Professor Sarosh Sharma, Professor Sangeeta ji, Dr. Amit Ahuja ji, Dr. Shalini, Dr. Anjali and all PhD student, all resource persons. Thank you again. Namaskar, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Jai Hind.